The Galapagos cruise, come for the wildlife, stay for the thrilling landscape. View of two beaches on Bartolome Island in the Galapagos Islands in Ecuador. Cruising around the Galapagos with our expeditions, and the islands we are visiting were formed between 3 to 5 million years ago, so in geological time they are relatively young. Technically, though, the Galapagos Islands were formed about 8 million years ago, it's just that tourists don't visit those older islands as they are now submerged under the sea. Today the Galapagos archipelago is home to 13 large islands, 6 small islands, and many islets and rocky crests. Cruising is by far the best way to explore